Do you think this is a good thing? Have we been selling what is essentially sort of quite high-end luxury produce at far too low prices?
I think there's no question, Alex, that the British food industry and supermarkets have been incredibly competitive for 20 years and have driven prices down to remarkably low levels. They've driven down the prices from suppliers. They've driven down the prices of lorry drivers. And so in a sense, we probably have become used to extraordinary good value stroke low prices. And, you know, a number of things are essentially sort of conspiring at the same time to put real pressure on the supermarkets. And the question is whether or not they're going, to what extent they will absorb some of the price increases when they've got to pay their lorry drivers, better driving rates. And they might have to pay more to farmers who are suffering higher energy costs. I think it's all up for grabs, but it is such a competitive industry. You know, the great supermarket chains, they won't want to lose market share. They will be doing everything they can to keep prices down. And there is also, I think, Alex, an extraordinary amount of mischief-making, lobbying, special pleading to government from all sorts of industry lobby groups, and frankly, the food industry is no different to the rest of them. So I think it's a mixed picture, but there's no question there's a lot of pressure out there.
Yeah, I mean, as a fellow EU critic, as I am, we remember the days of the milk lakes and the sugar mountains and farm subsidies and supermarket price fixing, all designed to make sure that food was available, across Europe at a very, very reasonable price, probably less than the cost of production. If that's going to come to an end, where does that leave the poorest in society?
Well, I think, as I say, the supermarket chains here in the UK are so competitive, and some of the German brands, the Audis, the Lidls of this world, they've really taken big market share by being very smart about what they offer, about the prices they charge. So I think actually that concerns about food price increases will prove to be less founded than some of the sort of the headlines you hear about. And I think shoppers, particularly the least well off, will sort of essentially look harder to try and make every pound in the pocket go that little bit further. So there's no question, it's not an easy time. The energy price increases, which is totally this government, the Conservatives' fault over the last decade of energy mismanagement, as we turn from being an exporter of energy to an importer of energy. But yeah, there is real pressure on consumers. There's pressure on businesses, but I do think that businesses will find ways of absorbing the cost increases in order to keep the prices on the shelves, pretty close to where they have been.
Would it be fair to say that, perhaps in the 21st century, we've become used to living in a disposable society with profligate waste, and actually that this recalibration with food prices potentially going up could just be an opportunity for good old-fashioned home economics to come back into vogue?
Without question, all of that is correct. People have become too wasteful because things have become so cheap that in a sense you didn't have to conserve things. It was just because everything was so, such good values, and some would say cheap. And if you can buy a chicken for between £2.50 and £3. So I think there will, without question, people will look to make food and clothes go that bit further. And actually that's probably a good thing. Maybe if we are a bit less complacent and conserve more and make things go further, and in a sense reduce waste. There's so many areas of our lives that actually we need to reduce waste, and this I suspect will be just one of them.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.